Hey guys, HuzzyGames bringing you another video. Welcome back to another Challenger Spectate. We are watching Rank 2 on EU West, and full disclosure, we've had to do a speed run to get into this replay. So today's Tuesday in the afternoon. Vanguard has killed League of Legends. So you log in after a minute or so, it bugs out, Vanguard error 84, and it kicks you off the game. We literally opened the client and speed ran our way to getting to a spectate. So I'm hoping it doesn't boot us out, and that means I can still make content while we can't play League. So this is Rank 2 EUS, they're playing Zeri, and the question that we're kind of asking, is Zeri still good? So I don't see Zeri that much anymore. You know, she has obviously got her balance issues. Is she still good? Is she still a problem? Is she still good? This player obviously being Rank 2 Challenger, in your, you know, mentally I wouldn't think they're going to play weak champions. So they are running, by the way, a Fleet Footwork, Absorb Life, Legend Alacrity, or however you pronounce that, I always get it wrong, Cut Down, Triple Tonic, that's quite interesting actually, Cosmic Insight, and then Attack Speed, Attack Damage, and Flat Health. So not the leveling health, the scaling, he's got Flat Health, which helps him in early lane phase, just making Zeri, you can see the health bar is very beefy, that's a big health bar. So obviously the thing with Zeri, and I remember, but even before I had the dev meeting this champion, Riot basically gave a clue that this champion would have a unique feature to AD carries that none of them have, and I predicted it. It wasn't hard to predict, but I was like, oh, you're going to aim your auto attack, and obviously that's what you do. And the problem with something like Zeri, and this is the problem that any, you know, where I say high skill champion is, and Zeri is that, you know, you have to aim a lot more than any other champion practically in the game. It's your auto attacks you have to constantly aim. Is the higher rating someone is, the better they are at the game, the more crazier Zeri can be. So what do you balance it to? Do you balance it to the average player who can't play this champion very well? But if you balance it to average players, then the players that are really good will be insane with this champion because they are really good. But if you balance it to players that are really good, you'll have to make her very weak, and then the average players will suck at this champion because then she doesn't have a lot of strength. So it's a really weird dilemma of what you do, and that has fundamentally been Zeri's biggest problem in her history, is they don't know where to put her. If you put her as a pure, like, auto-attacking, high-damage champion, she's unbalanced with high players. But then what they've then done, people may remember, they made her into more of a low-skill AP champion with her W. But then that's unhealthy. So she's a really awkward champion, and, you know, what question for you guys, what would you do? I think, and this is just the problem that we kind of had, especially when August was in charge of champions, they experimented a little bit too much. And they gave a bit too much freedom when it may have not been the healthiest things to do. Because I, unfortunately, would say she's, I don't know, forever kind of a problem. No, he's not Fraz, but I can't say more, I don't think. So yeah, like, I don't know. I'm not sure what I would do with her. I personally prefer her as an auto attacker. I will say that I much prefer the auto attack playstyle than the max W AP playstyle, because that was just, as I said, unhealthy. But I would personally, and this is where I maybe am old school mentality a little bit, and where this has kind of gone against what Riot's been trying to do over the last couple of years. So in Origin of League of Legends, there were high rating champions and there were low rating champions, and everybody was fine with that. And if you tried to play a low rating champion in high rating and you got destroyed, you just accepted it because you're like, oh, I am playing Master Yi in Challenger, like that sucks. But nowadays it does seem, one, the player base, but also Riot is more wanting every champion to be viable in every single rating, and that is just a balanced nightmare. It's so hard to actually make that a reality. Hello, Zelge. It's really hard to make that a reality. So what I would do, if you were like, you're like, Huz, you're in charge, how are you fixing this champion? I would just straight up say to everybody, we are just balancing her to high rating, the end. Because they recently did that, some people may even know, they did that with Corki. A few months ago, weeks ago, they literally came out and said, we're balancing Corki to low rating, that's the way he's going to be, boom. and everybody was on the same page at least. You know, his balance wasn't, you know, healthy, but that's the way that they did it. That's what I would do with Zeri. I would just come out very like open and be like, she's a very, you know, crazy design champion. She rewards very high skill, like accurate skill shots constantly with good movement. If we make her too weak, then no one plays her. But I would just be very out in the open saying she's being balanced to high rating. That's the way she is. So if you're an average player, you may struggle with this champion, but that's just the way of it. And yeah, just Moxim just actually said, which is a very true point. So people may not know this. So obviously the reason why Vanguard, and you know, Vanguard's just killed League of Legends now, but it's, you know, it's teething issues, let's say, but whatever. A lot of people didn't see the need of Vanguard, and probably still people don't, but people are like, I've never had a scripter in my game. The likelihood is you did, but you didn't know it. You know, there's two kind of types of scripting. There was, you know, skillful scripting, and no scripting is skillful, but basically scripting that's trying to not make it obvious and trying to seem that they're not scripting and they're more of just a good player. Or there's what's called rage scripting. And rage scripting is when they're just doing it very obvious. They're just doing it like not hiding it. And they used to be like, you know, the Zereth mid lane ones that you could just tell were scripting 100% of the time. Zeri was the most popular champion to script on. The reason for it, just to explain, is because you could basically, and what a lot of them did, and some of them were even challenger, by the way, what they were doing is the most obvious script of an AD carry was movement, when they would have you know, not human-like movement behaviors. They would dodge things that were very questionable. That was all too obvious. So how Zeri's was scripting were they weren't scripting their movement. And you're like, huh? Yeah, they weren't scripting their movement. They would be a player that would be moving themselves, and they would be doing the movement, so that looks very human. But what they were doing with scripting was the Q was being used, or her auto attack was being used in terms of the script. So that means a human is moving the champion, but while they're moving, they were constantly auto attacking accurately, and that was harder to detect because a really good Zeri could do that. You know, that's the thing. They could do that. It was unlikely, but they could. Oh, nice. So enemy bot lane tries to kill the Kazakhs. They don't fully commit to it, and they get very much punished for it. So there's that. But yeah, that's basically how it worked with Zeri, and then why she turned into the most popular scripting champion is because it was harder to detect, but the reward of it was insane. And, you know, all the leaks recently of when Vanguard did its first big ban wave, and it was even banning people that had hardware spoofers and everything. Vanguard got around hardware spoofers and still banned everybody. A lot of them were like, oh no, my Challenger account, oh my Grandmaster account, like genuinely. And a lot of those players would have been Zeri scripters. So yeah. Interesting champion though, that's the thing. So Java Boy just said the most obvious script was Zera sitting in base, hitting everyone with his spells as a bug. It was a combination of two. So that was technically a bug that made Zereth's spells global. But then I think what the people were doing, they were combining the bug of his spells being global with scripting. So he just hit everybody from the base constantly. Oh, chain CC on the Yone, and the Akali even lives. Wow. So right now, what I would say, and I've even been confused with it, when I have seen Zeris in the past, or even recently, sorry, they're not as weak as you think they should be in like early lane phase. Whoa, really, Poppy? I wouldn't take that fight. That's crazy to me. So again, the decision making, I would say, of blue team has been a bit bizarre. So again, they commit, they kill the Zeri, but they're dying for one kill on a Zeri. There was no, I don't even think there was a bounty on the Zeri. Yeah, no bounty on the Zeri. So yeah, red team is playing, oh, sorry, blue team is playing a little bit weird here. They're playing very disconnected. You know, yes, you killed the Zeri. And one thing to notice, she rushed plated steel caps. So I don't think I've been the only one to notice. Damage in the game is very high again. It's kind of crept its way back, unfortunately. And it's very tanky. It's high damage with even building tanky. You know, I think we've all noticed, you know, tank top laners building full tank are doing way too much damage. So, I don't know. Rushing plated steel caps, that gives you more survivability, but also you're still doing good damage. That might be something for AD carries to consider. I've never really considered rushing like plated steel caps on an AD carry before. But the meta of League at the moment is, you know, still high damage even if you build tanks. So why wouldn't you in some ways? You know, Zeri as a whole, she doesn't really benefit from Berserker boots, the attack speed boots. So honestly, that could be something that if you're playing Zeri, I'd consider as well. So lane phase are going pretty good. You can see farm-wise, Ezreal is out-farming the Zeri. And I think that was just a bit of the early game. Like, you know, giving the Ezreal a bit of, like, respect of, oh, we do have to be a little bit careful here. Obviously, Poppy as well. She does have a lot more strength in the early game than Arel. Just because Poppy does more damage. Again, it's what I just said. Tanks are doing way too much damage at the moment. So, and all in, all 4 champions do get quite low. Ezreal, I was going to say, if he E's there, he could be in trouble. But, he, you know, high confidence, I guess. Kha'Zix might make his way down. And here we go. So we'll see if... Blue team should really back off, but it doesn't look they're going to. Zeri right now, I think she might have been just scouting to see if there was a plant or anything, and there's not. See you later, Sunslash. So, yeah. So, obviously, Malphite versus Twisted Fate top lane. Unfortunately, people are still playing Twisted Fate top. I really don't like that pick, but it is what it is. And hilariously, he's actually out-farming the Twisted Fate. Obviously, Malphite, in some ways, could be considered, even though he's a melee champion, he will be a hard counter to Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate is all about attack speed, and obviously Malphite is the, hey, you don't get attack speed around me. And it looks like he's even getting a Frozen Heart. So, yeah, one thing you see, Kha'Zix went top lane, they get the kill. Just make sure you gank a Twisted Fate top if it's in your games. He's very easy to gank. He is immobile, you know, like, but if you ignore it, if you ignore a Twisted Fate top lane, you are literally giving him exactly what he wants. I've always said, one of my kind of like catchphrases in League, never do something that makes the enemy team happy. And I know that sounds weird to say out loud, but if, you know, you're picking a champion that, you know, the enemy team will be happy to see and they're not scared of it, I wouldn't do that. If, you know, someone's playing Twisted Fate top lane and you're never going top lane, well, you're going to make that Twisted Fate happy. Never do anything that ultimately would go make the enemy team go, hey, that's good for us. That's a way that you lose the game, you know? Oh, that was really close of hitting the W, and unfortunately, Rel didn't have the range to hit the Q on Poppy. So first item, I'm not 100% what her first item is even going to be. League is not working at the moment. I'm having a lot of people come into Twitch chat going, is League of Legends broken? Yeah, Riot's working on it, of me recording this. I asked Riot in the League Partner Discord server. They are aware of it, and they are working on it. Oh, it's Static Shiv Rush. So Static Shiv did just get buffed. Oh, Valorant is also down. Well, again, they both use Vanguard. It must, obviously, it's to do with Vanguard. Whatever has happened to the Vanguard servers. Okay, so Malphite could be in trouble. Bonk. Yeah, that's a dead... Oh, I wouldn't have even used Flash. Oh, wait, and let's see. Okay, he knew that Lilia didn't have ulti. Oh, he's dead. I think he probably could have lived then. Oh, well. Oh, all in. Whoa, that was crazy. So that's the one thing I will say that Rel is amazing at. Instant decision engages. Now, one thing I will say, and this may sound a bit weird, they can't officially be duo Q. That engage, and I don't know if I'm the only one, that looked like a duo Q engage, like communication, in at the same time, no hesitation. But this is Challenger, so they, in theory, well, they can't duo. But the problem is, and I've always said this, Challenger is a bit of an odd rank. So there's only 300 of them. And let's just say that they played this game 2 hours ago. It means they played in the middle of the day on a Tuesday afternoon in Europe. There's even less of challengers playing at that certain time. And when you play in Challenger, they all know each other. And there was even a Reddit thread the other day of someone saying, I made it to Challenger and I uninstalled the game. And everyone's like, what? And he basically said, I made it there after playing for so long, but I was the outsider. No one knew me. They all know each other for being Challenger for years. And I always took the blame. they will always blame me, going, oh, he's the new challenger guy. And that's the thing, when challenger players just know each other and have done for years, they could all be on a Discord call together. They could all be, you know, on the same... They literally could be, and I don't know if there is, but I also don't know if there isn't. There could be a Discord server for challenger players on a US or NA. Like, there literally could be. That could exist. And, you know, if you have, you know, they know each other in bot lane, they could be on a Discord call, which is in essence duo queuing, you know, in a challenger game. So... because that engage was mad. And obviously it is worth saying, you know, these are challenger players. It's rank 2. We're watching Zeri. So even if that, you know, Rel did that engage, the Zeri may have just had insane perfect reaction time and she read the play as well. And she may have just engaged perfectly with the Rel. That could also be a thing because they're so good. But that did look a little bit coordinated is what I would say. All right, next item purchase for Zeri. Still 10 odd farm behind, obviously, the Ezreal. Zeri, I think, just did sell an item or like an item, and now she looks like she's waiting. Yep, there you go. Runan's Hurricane has been purchased. Okay, interesting build. Like, this build in my mind doesn't do a lot of damage, you know? Like, where's the actual damage to this build? There's not a lot. There's really not a lot of damage. But I think the thing with Zeri is she doesn't do a lot of damage, obviously, in one auto or one little thing. But it's constant. It's that constant, like, pew, pew, pew. And obviously now you've got Static Shiv doing damage. You've got Runan's bolts doing damage. It all adds up. Like, it all adds up. And I think that's kind of the idea. And, you know, with her ultimate, she still does a lot of damage. That's the thing. Ooh. So Lilia has got... Rift Herald. They most likely, yeah, there you go, using it mid lane to break open mid. Obviously, yeah, Zeri's wave clear is very good. I thought he genuinely was going to aim the wrong way then. So again, it's a bit of a waste of Rift Herald. It may have been running out, but I always feel, oh, ultimate. If you're using Rift Herald, that Lilia damage. Again, Lilia is still one of League's strongest champions, by the way. Like, I don't really know how she's escaped nerfs. Oh, wow. Really well played by the Zeri to avoid damage there. Damn. Noob road to challenger, 19 months of prime. Appreciate it. And one thing I've always said you'll notice with challenger players more than anywhere. So there's two types. So two players do the exact same thing for very different reasons at very different ranks. So Zeri nearly died. She's low health. But she comes back from being low health and she's instantly back to farming, instantly gets a tower without basing. So really good players do this because they have the knowledge to be like, oh, I can do this. I can get away with this now. Average players would have just based. They would have just gone, I'm going back to base. I'm not going to risk anything. I'll just go back to base. So, but the other type of player that does exactly what that Zeri does is like not very good players. But they do it for a reason that they're just doing it randomly. They're not doing it with thought out like, oh, I can get away with this right now. If you go watch the stream Salty Timo that just shows low rating league games all the time, you see it all the time. And again, it's the two groups of players that do that the most. Very high rating players and very low rating players, but they do it for different reasons. Where most people in that situation, you just survived, whoo, I did a really good play, I'm low health, they'll just go back. But that's the thing with challenger players, they value farm more than anything else, because that's the bulk of your gold. And she's like, oh, I don't need to go back now. I'll go kill a wave or two in mid lane and kill a tower by myself. That's a lot of gold. So it is worth knowing that. I think a lot of the more, you know, a lot of you watching this will be in the more average ranks. A lot of you probably can stay a lot longer in the action than you actually probably do. And I would say I even do that. I probably base a bit too much, and I probably base when I don't really need to sometimes. I think we all kind of do it a bit apart, as I said, from the two ranks that I've kind of pointed out. So this Poppy, I would say, she is struggling this game for sure. The thing with Poppy's support, and I've obviously played it a decent amount, she's got her Warmogs now, so she might actually be a lot stronger, because, yeah, Warmog's rush is a little bit unbalanced. Poppy's support is quite an all-in support. You're either doing amazing stuff and you're going all in, you're doing damage, you're denying movement, or you're kind of useless. There's not really one or the other with Poppy's support. You know, she's not designed to be a support. That's the thing. You know, she's the modern support. She's not designed to be this role. She's designed to be a laner or a jungler. So she is you know, she should get punished if it doesn't go well. That's the kind of point. So enemy team, you can see, I think there was 3 people top lane or 2 people top lane. Pings are going on Baron. They managed to kill the Yone. Obviously, the Lilia is doing good among a team that's not. So probably very frustrating for this Lilia to be 404, 180 farm, but the only one with a positive KD or doing well at all. So yeah, can happen, does happen, even happens in Challenger. You know, you do sometimes get teammates that are having bad games. You know, it's the nature of the game, and I'm going to say something that is very obvious, but in every game of League you go in, one team is going to win, and one team's going to lose. And on average, the team that's losing, you'll have people that aren't doing very well. So it's the way of it, and no one likes to obviously be on the losing game, but you know, it's just the nature of the game. There's no draws in League of Legends, you know? So Zeri's going to go back again. Build-wise, it'd be interesting to see, like, is it now going to be an Infinity Edge? No, it's a Bloodthirster next. Oh, okay. Damn. So again, in such why I will say I'm finding really, really weird, and I have to say it, it's supposed to be crit meta right now. Like, it's supposed to be. Of how they've done the buffs and the nerfs to items, it is supposed to be crit meta. And Kai'Sa's made a massive comeback. Zeri is in, you know, a few games here or there. Ezreal is also still popular. There are 3 AD carries that don't build crit. What? In what is supposed to be crit meta. And again, these technically give, or this gives crit, but like, it's not like crit of like, I'm building an Infinity Edge first item, you know? When I think of a crit AD carry, I'm thinking, right, they've got Infinity Edge, they've got, you know, a lot of crit. If to me, you're not a crit-based AD carry if you're not buying one of the 2 items that empower crit attacks. So Navori, is it Navori and Infinity Edge that empower crit attacks? If you don't have one of those 2, you're not a crit AD carry to me. All right, enemy team's going for a big play, but they are on the way running. Cleanse from her. TP's coming around back. Zhonya's is going to try and help the Lilia survive. They managed to do a bit of damage, but here's the Akali. She's teleported back into the fight. Nice play, and then she eased, but she's asleep, sleeping on the job. A static shiv manages to burn a little bit. Teleport coming up here. I think it's the Yone. Yes, it is, but he's half health. And they're just going to defuse it, and that's a complete waste of this Yone's TP. So, overall, not bad. A, what, 2 for 1? Yeah, 2 for 1, and they killed the enemy support, and they killed the top laner and the jungler, and one of the, you know, that was the first death of Lilia, so that's well played and worth the play for red team. Oh, Ezreal, be careful. He needs to be careful. That Zeri will just go all in if he goes and takes 1 too many tower hits. He probably will get the tower now. There you go. Zeri is going to go back and buy. I wonder if she's got... I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Bloodthirster is built. It seems such a weird build to me, this. Like, it's kind of like it's an on-hit effect kind of build. Bloodthirster's there for survivability and obviously lifesteal. But I guess Zeri as a champion, she just does innate damage and she doesn't need all the crazy damage items, you know? It's just the way of the champ. So you can see their blue team has failed a surrender vote. So that is the team that's currently losing. But again, look at the gold. The one thing I will say, question to you guys, and I think genuinely maybe it should be in game. Blue team is less than 3k gold behind. That is not that far behind at 25 odd minutes in the game. Do you think people should have that knowledge of the total gold in game? I think they should. I think that would definitely make people not give up as much. You know, we all have had that top laner that's 0 and 5, but your mid lane is winning, your bot lane is winning, but the top lane is like, I want to surrender the game. If they press tab and saw, wait, my team's actually 5k gold ahead, I think it would stop that top laner raging as much or, you know, tilting as much, because they go, oh, my team's actually ahead, I'm just behind. To me, I think that would not be a negative in any regard. So let me know what you think of that, because I might even, dare I say, ask Riot what they think about that, because that's, again, one of the things as a league. Well, nice engage, does get poppy ulted though, and both the bot lane go together. But yeah, that's what I would say. Maybe I need to ask Riot about that. Obviously, the double-edged sword of it, which is true, is if you're 10,000 gold behind, it may make surrender votes more likely to happen. Maybe. Oh, Lilia's down south. Dragon's up. They should just back off and go for Dragon. Lilia is about. Ezreal's very low. Don't think Ezreal's going to die unless Zeri's confident, which she is. And she does get the kill, and she won't die. Very nice. And there's the Dragon. So Kha'Zix just focused on the objective. Full Dragon Soul Cloud Dragon has been got, which is very good for something like Zeri, because she's very much movement and movement speed based. All right, wave clear up in top lane. And this is my point, is again, an AD carry of like this nature, she goes up, gets a bit of top lane, kills a tower. She's never in that, you know, basically the higher rating you go when you're watching a good player play, what's on their mind, and this is something that I think a lot of people don't think about when they're actively playing League, how can I make money? Like, I want to make money now. Like, there's never in their mind a down moment of, I'm making no money right now. No. Their goal constantly is, I'm running around the map doing whatever I'm doing, but I'm making money. So that is something that I would say a lot of, you know, players probably could take on. Even I probably could take on that. Sometimes I'm just kind of thinking about you know, I'm helping my team, but that's not making me gold. Especially if you're in one of the carry positions. Whoa, they went all in Lilia sleep for a rel. Whoa, she does go down. They do get it. The Yone does still a crazy amount of damage. Yeah, with the gold thing, by the way, I won a game yesterday when I was 10,000 gold behind. So it can happen. Well, no, even earlier today, we were 10,000 gold behind a game, and we made a comeback, and we won the game. So it does happen. But yeah, but there we go. That's going to be it. So Zeri, I'd say, is still useful. If I had to guess what this item would be, and this is, again, only a guess because I don't see many Zeris, surely maybe this would be an Infinity Edge. Maybe. I don't know. But that's Zeri. She's very much a problematic champion. Probably isn't too problematic right now, but if she gains popularity again, she will be. That's the problem with this champion. Oh, I hear Maya barking, I think. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Call down!